Strawweight bout. Angela Hill coming in at minus 105 against Denise Gomes sitting at minus 125. Over under 2.5 rounds, minus 300 for the over, plus 225 for the under. The 23-year-old Denise Gomes facing the 38-year-old Angela Hill, who is 15-13 in her career and 2-3 in her last 5. She's coming in here against Denise Gomes. I believe this is the first time Denise Gomes is going to be a favorite in her fight. She's on a back-to-back KO streak. Picked up the big KO in her last time out against Yasmin Jauregui. I think she was like plus 400, somewhere around there. First round KO, and then a second round KO against Bruna Brazil back at the fight we were at in Kansas City. So she's on a big streak here. Maybe that's factored into the price, but Angela Hill, last time out, got mollywopped by Mackenzie Dern and kind of pieced up on the feet. So who are you liking in this one?
Yeah, I think against Mackenzie Dern for Angela Hill was like the first time we really saw the age maybe play a factor, and maybe she's taken a step, she's a step slower now because she beat Emily Ducote before that, beat Lupi Godinez before that, and then her losses were against Savages, Verna Jandiroba, Amanda Lemos, Tisha Torres, and then beat Ashley Yoder. But you look at, Tisha Torres up until Mackenzie Dern, those are all pretty decent names. I mean, Lupi Godinez looking like a savage of late. Emily Ducote just got a win, looked decent. But everybody else, Jandiroba, Lemos, Torres, like those are savages, and that makes me nervous. But then I watch her against Mackenzie Dern, and it's like, man, she looked off. Maybe she looked a little slower, couldn't quite find her range, and she was getting cracked by Mackenzie Dern. Like Mackenzie Dern landed a knockdown, had the knees, the elbows that were wobbling her, and was able to take her down 3 times and just do basically whatever she wanted in that fight. And then I look at Gomes, and she's just been underestimated every single time out. After Loma Luke Bunmi, and since then knocks out Bruna Brazil, knocks out Jauregui. I mean, you don't see a girl go on a 2-streak knockout in 2 fights back to back. Like you just don't see that in women's MMA. I think it speaks volumes to her power and her striking. Both girls are going to be near the same size. I would think Angela Hill might have a little speed advantage and a volume advantage. But if she leaves herself open and Gomes connects, I think Gomes hits harder than Mackenzie Dern. I think if she finds a chin, she's going to do damage, and it's going to be a pretty fun fight, at least for women's MMA. I just don't know how you bet against Denise Gomes at this point, especially if it's going to be against a striker. And after she's just put out 2 strikers in that fashion. So especially against the 37-year-old Angela Hill. I mean, what's the stat when a fighter is 10 years younger than her opponent or his opponent? It's like they win at like a 60-70% clip. I think maybe that's the story here as well. I think Denise Gomes on the rise. She's getting better. She's got the blonde hair this week. It's in Brazil. I mean, you can't really write a better story. I keep thinking as well, the UFC wants these fighters to win who are on win streaks and knockout streaks. And what better way or what better name to put on your resume than Angela Hill, a girl who's fought the best of the best, been in the UFC a long time. You beat Angela Hill, and you start climbing the ranks. So, yeah, give me Denise Gomes here, and I like the price too.
Yeah, I mean, for 23 years old, you got to figure Denise Gomes is still getting better in every aspect of her game too. So, coming into this one, the way I look at how the fight plays out is like Angela Hill loves to stick to the outside, use her jab, use her movement. And that, I don't know if that's going to work well against Denise Gomes because it seems like she loves to just crash the distance, get in your face, and make it a dogfight. So I don't think Angela Hill's going to be super comfortable in there. One little cheeky prop I could maybe see is Angela Hill's never been knocked out, but she has been submitted twice. So she's got a decent chin. I think maybe Denise Gomes could crack her and maybe throw in a little submission, get her first submission win. Because Denise Gomes, in her fight against Loma Luke Bunme, the fight that she lost, she had 3 submission attempts on the ground. Couldn't get it done on the ground, but ultimately got her in some pretty bad spots. So in this one, I think Angela Hill is just a little bit outgunned, and maybe the age could start showing too. I mean, she is a veteran. Maybe she has a good game plan in there, but I think Denise Gomes with the youth and continuing to get better with her all around game. I think she just pulls it off for the win. So I'll take her.